Here we are with another tip, putting your leg out for a turn. Some things about it that I often go over during school. So I'm trying to suck in my gut because I seen the video from yesterday or the other day. Oh my God, dude. I've been losing weight, but dude, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do is trying to lose weight. I've never thought I'd be fat. Anyway, I got another 20 pounds to go. But anyway, to the side. So back to putting your leg out for a turn. In most cases, you want to keep your feet on the pegs as much as possible. Any turn. It depends on the turn where you put your leg out, first off. And because you don't want your foot get ripped off. Depends on the lean angle of the dirt bike, meaning if it's a moto style turn, there's no tree on the inside. If there's a tree on the inside and it's not rutted, most times I just keep my feet on the pegs. One, you don't want to catch your foot on the tree on the inside. And a lot of times when your foot is making contact with the foot peg, obviously, your legs up against the bike, and you can steer more with the foot peg and your legs through the turn. So keep your feet on the pegs as much as possible. If it's an upright turn with a tree on the inside, foot on the foot peg. Now, when you take your leg off, you take your leg off depending on the lean angle. You know, there's some berm turns where you're not leaning the bike over as much, where the foot peg is not going to be, close to the ground, and you're not prone to actually rip your foot off. Okay, you can keep your feet on the foot pegs. Watch any of outdoors. I remember Roxon. Watch Roxon. He keeps his foot on the pegs almost all the time. And the way he steers the bike with his feet and his legs. Okay, but a rutted turn. You want to take your leg off the foot peg, obviously, and put it out in front of you. Now, the thing is, there's something different to this. So when you put your leg out for a turn, it's not the old adage. I'll explain why. And I'm going to quote another fast dude on a dirt bike. I got it from my riding coach back in the day, and it was something that he seen from Bubba Stewart. Obviously, notice where my body position is. My butt is forward. In the apex of the turn, when you go to the seat, in a turn where you should put your leg out, your butt should be forward. Because a lot of times, when you see a guy having issues, if he's sitting far back on the bike, he goes to put his leg out. Because my butt is so far back on the seat and I'm leaned over, my leg can't get as high and I'm more prone to catch the ground. And this happens. This is not cool. How many times have you been in this position? I'm trying to suck my gut in. But anyway, so your leg, granted, you're going to be as far forward as possible in the apex of the turn. Why? Because you want to put weight on the front end, because at the apex you're trying to steer. This is the steering wheel. Steering front end is how you steer the bike through a turn. So you want your butt forward for traction to make the bike steer. Now, leg out for a turn, your foot simply goes from here to here. So it's bent more against the bike. Bent more against the bike. The old adage back in the day, Gary Bailey, who I got this from, used to be out here. But it's kind of heavy and awkward. Now, understand that you're going to here because you have more contact with the motorcycle, you can control the bike more. And obviously you're going to relax your torso at this point. Relax your torso, meaning you're going to open up just a little bit. Butt is forward, weight on the front end, relax your torso at the apex. Because if you stay up here in a ball, a lot of times you can't get your leg up high enough, and that's another reason why it catches the ground and gets you pulled back. Okay, so again, keep your foot on the pegs as much as possible. But the lean angle of the turn determines whether you pull it off or if it's a rutted turn. Because if it's a rutted turn, your foot peg will be dragging and it's probably going to rip your foot off the foot peg anyway, and that's not cool. So that's a whole other deal as far as, if you lean the bike over in a rutted turn, you want your foot up in front of you so it doesn't touch the ground. Okay? And saying that what I'm trying to drive home here is you want your butt forward and you relax your torso, because the more you do that, the higher you can get your leg. And I was talking, so there's the proper leg. What I see a lot of, and we're all in good company, there's a lot of guys that have this common habit, is they just stay centered, actually not centered, they're more towards from the center back on the dirt bike and lean forward. And what happens is they go put their leg out and they can't get it high. Simply because my gut is hitting me, but anyway, you can't get it high enough. Okay? So, first thing is move your butt forward, and your legs more bent like this against the dirt bike. Now, the more rutted it is, you might have to extend it just a little bit. Okay, so it's here against the bike high, away from the ground. This picture is actually going to be leaned over. So there is my explanation as far as what to do with your leg in a turn. Keep your feet on the pegs as much as possible, but the exception is you got to read the trail, look far enough ahead to know what kind of turn is coming, what situation is being thrown at you, whether you take your leg off or not. If depending on the lean angle of the dirt bike, if it's a pretty good hard apex back the other way, you're probably going to be taking your leg off. And if it's a heavily rutted turn, you probably have to take your leg off as well. Keep your feet on the pegs as much as possible to steer the dirt bike. In woods, this is a lot easier to do. Hope you got something from this tip. Please give me some feedback. Subscribe if you can, and like my video. And I really appreciate giving you guys input and feedback. All little tips that I've done over the years. And one more thing to kind of demonstrate what I used to do. I used to use this adage to demonstrate. And it's simply bend over, okay? So grab your handlebars, you bend over, you stand up right now and do this, okay? And the old adage as far as, keep your leg out far in front of you. So put it straight out as far as front of you as you can. And it's kind of hard to do with balance, okay? But now, relax a little bit as you should, yes, but also just bring your knee to your belly. Bring your knee to your belly, like me if you have a belly. It's easier to balance rather than this, okay? So it just gives you a better sense of balance. And that's just what I'm trying to demonstrate here to you is the difference between here and here. Here, easier to balance. Here's a little harder to balance, okay? So it's a whole other demonstration there. Granted, I'm standing on the flat on the ground, but on your dirt bike, it transfers the same way. Okay? Thanks, guys. See you.
Hey, how y'all doing? Rich Lafferty again with Rich Lafferty Riding Schools. Just wanted to talk to you briefly about something that's come up to mind lately that's been pointed out to me that I've noticed and has actually affected my riding and making it more comfortable and easy when I encounter turns. And I want to talk about putting my leg out for a turn. The old adage used to be putting your leg out straight and as far in front of you as you could. And it helped weight the front end, helps as a balance point, all that kind of stuff. Well, I want to demonstrate something to you. I'd rather you, when you put your leg out for a turn, keep it in a bent angle, meaning keep it tight to the bike, and when you take it off the foot peg, you just keep it out in front of you like this. In my opinion, think it presents a better sense of balance and control over the motorcycle than holding it out in front of you. And for a particular reason, I'd like you to demonstrate, if you could, stand up right now in front of the camera and do two things for me. First, what I'd like you to do is put your legs straight out in front of you as far as you could. Now, in a turn, you're going to be bent over the handlebars. Now, I'd like you to bend over as far as you could and keeping your leg straight out in front of you as much as possible. Okay? Now, also, I'd like you to try this. Keep your leg bent, just bring it to your chest. Now bend over as far as you can. In which position do you have better control and balance? I think it's pretty obvious with your leg bent that you do. So how's it going to feel in a motorcycle when you're weighting the pegs and trying to keep better control of the bike? That's one of the issues we find in turns. So that's something I think is very crucial. Again, this is Rich Lafferty of Rich Lafferty Riding Schools. You can find a lot more instructional videos on my website, www.rlafferty.com. Thanks.